Welcome back to Theory Hammer, my very orky friends, where today we have a special episode for you. We have a guest with us. We have Graham, and we're going to go over the
Hello.
Ork Codex.
So, whoa! We gotta get in the mood.
That is right. We got to get the action going here. So, if you guys like that kind of content, be sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment, all that stuff. And then check out our other videos as well, because we have all kinds of content. We've got Codex reviews, battle reports, all that sort of stuff. We're going to get right into it. This is much more exciting than the Custodes Codex was, because that was a complete dumpster fire. Go check out that video as well. So we're going to get right into it. Much more exciting. Here we go. Are you ready, Graham?
I'm ready.
We're ready.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Right into the Orks. Alright, so, first up, we have the army rule. Obviously, this didn't change. So, if your army faction is Orks, once per battle, at the start of the battle round, you can call the Waaaagh. If you do, until the start of the next battle round, the Waaaagh is active for your army, and this is what you get. Units from your army with this ability are eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced. You improve the strength and attacks characteristic of all your melee weapons in your entire army by 1, and then your whole army gets a 5 up invuln. So, super strong ability. It's kind of weird that you have to do it at the start of the battle round as opposed to the start of the turn, but when you're going in first, it's nice to have that because it's in your opponent's turn and your turn. So, I mean, Graham can attest to that rule as well.
Yeah, I can also attest to me playing it wrong the first time since the book came out, because I just added in the sustained hits from Warhorde. Because it was the index detached. I was like, oh yeah, I got 6s explode. Just oh yeah, wait, they don't.
Yep.
No.
Playing like the squig detachment
Like
and getting lethal hits or whatever, sustain hits on me as well.
No, yeah, you know.
So that's your army rule. It's very, very strong. It's only for 1 turn, but it lasts for both players' turns. So we're pretty familiar with the army rule. So we're going to move right on to the spicy stuff. The detachments and the stratagems and the enhancements for each one. The first one is the War Horde. The War Horde is pretty good. So this is what you get. Melee weapons equipped by Orks in your army have sustained hits 1. Now that may sound familiar.
It's the index
and that is
detachment.
because, yep, it is the detachment from the index. They've changed it though. There's a lot of stuff in here that is different. Such as, where is it? Arta's Nails. You can't target the Gargantuan Squiggoth with this anymore. So, that's one change. But let's just go over the enhancements and the stratagems, because there's a lot to get through in this index, or in this codex, so we're just going to try to move through it as quickly as we can. Alright, so first up, they have Follow Me Lads. It's for an Ork model only. Obviously, they're all Ork model only. While he's leading a unit, you add 2 to the move characteristic of models in the unit. So we've seen this in the index. Pretty nice to have, especially on like a squig thing.
It's good
right?
on Mega Knobs too.
Yeah, Mega Knobs especially, because they only move, what, like 4 inches, I think?
It's 4, yeah.
So, Mega Knobs moving 6 inches is much better.
Or the War Boss on the knobs, probably.
Yeah. So this, Follow Me Lads, is going to be... How many points? Where is it? I just saw it. 25 points. So plus 2 to your move, 25 points. I mean, that's pretty expensive, isn't it?
It kind of is. Like, think about it as like 25% more of the cost of like your big mech and mega armor if it's leading those Mega Knobs or something. When you think of it like that, it's like, oh, do I really care? Like, cause like if these guys are coming in a truck or whatever, and you're in War Horde, so you can careen, theoretically.
Yeah, right. You have the careen.
So you could get these guys in there without that, but like.
Yeah, for 25 points, I think it's a little bit expensive.
I like it better on like the War Boss, honestly. Leading by knobs, because the
Squig Hog Rider guys is probably good on them as well.
Yeah, it is. They're just hard to run in War Horde, I feel like, just because of how much space they take up. Like, to be effective, you could take like the smaller man units of them, but I don't know if you can actually take like the like the stupid like 8-man unit with the Beast Boss. Anyway, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that, and that is a good one. All right, let's move on to the Head Wappa. The Kill Choppa. It gives you devastating wounds. So melee weapons equipped by the bearer, including your extra attacks. I'm sorry, excluding your extra attacks, have devastating wounds. So that's pretty good. Is this the enhancement that you took on me?
Dude, yeah, no, I didn't pick this from this. The other guy just the beast boss just has devastating wounds if he charges.
Gotcha.
On the foot beast boss. What I was doing was I was running like I thought I had the army, the detachment rule rather, sustain hits, just as part of my army rule, not
right.
But the kill choppa is like, it's what I miss the most about the playing Index Orcs, because it was just always there to throw on somebody. Like usually
it is nice to have devastating wounds,
or the beast boss on Squigosaur.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have, and it's 20 points. So getting, because Orcs have a problem with AP, like against Armor of Contempt and stuff. Like
without it, the beast boss on Squigosaur literally hits like a wet noodle into land raiders and vehicles. Like he doesn't do anything. Like you're just like, oh right, I'm like strength 7 or something, and and then you're like, please, Mr. Squig's Jaws, get me 1 dev wound, and he never does.
Basically, so for 20 points, I think that's probably worth it, depending on what you're putting it on. Getting dev wounds is nice. Just kind of sucks that it doesn't give it to your extra attacks. What's up with that? Do you want to do the next one, the Cunning but Brutal?
Yeah, Cunning but Brutal. This one's kind of like the do nothing one, to be honest. There's not too many units in Orcs that want to take this, because falling back, you could take it on Squighogs.
Yeah, I suppose you could take it on
Bikers, maybe. Like but the problem is the one we're about to talk about is way better on the guy who would be leading Bikers.
Yeah, agreed.
It's the only guy in the Codex who really takes this. I guess no Squigosaur boss can take it.
It is worth mentioning that it is only 15 points.
What, for Cunning but Brutal?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but still, it's just like, I don't know what this is really useful for.
Yeah, I would say if it was in a different detachment, you could do something interesting with like knobs and shooting. But
yeah,
you
it's
can't.
Like, what in your army is good at shooting? Grot stuff. Nothing can attach to Grot.
I mean, you can fall back and charge as well. But
yeah,
yeah. You could get Boyz onto another objective to sticky it like that, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like worthless.
No, but like I can't feed me picking it over any of the other options in World
I do think it's worth its 15 points.
Oh, it could be 10.
Yeah, probably. Super Cyborg Body, though.
This is the good one.
Annoying
not
as
just
fuck.
They're all good ones. Not all of them, but this one's great.
Yeah. So, getting Feel No Pain at 4+? Yeah. That's annoying.
What is it? Effectively double your effective wounds, essentially?
Yep. It doubles your wounds, basically.
Yeah. So, putting this on the Squigosaur boss before was crazy. Yep. He would just eat up 9 crisis shoots worth of shooting and be like, hi.
Actually, he didn't even need it, though. Because I think he had Feel No Pain.
Oh, yeah. He's the one who didn't need it. I'm sorry. He already has this innately. He didn't need it.
Basically.
This would go on the biker guy to make the Squigosaur boss at home.
Yep, pretty much. And this is only 15 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How is this one the same price as Cunning but Brutal? Actually, Cunning but Brutal should be 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
If there were better Orcs models only, is a Kill-A-Can an Orcs model?
Yes, but it has to be a character, that takes the enhancements. So.
Oh yeah, the new mech should have been able to lead Kill-A-Cans.
That would have been great.
It would have made. He's got one of the drills, kind of as one of his weapon options. It's a similar power.
Yeah, that would be fucking great. But
the new mech kind of doesn't. Well, we'll get to him too.
Yeah, this is probably best on a War Trike or something like that.
I guess the Squigosaur boss can take it.
A big mech having a Feel No Pain all the time, that's annoying. Or
but is it? I don't know, because they're already the value of their unit's already gone by the time you've gotten down to that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because all their guys
that's my problem with most of those abilities. Yeah,
exactly. That's why I really only like it on Squigosaur boss, because we played that game a couple weeks ago where the Squigosaur boss, you killed all of his guys on turn 1.5 or something.
Yeah, and I still lost.
And then he was, you got scratched, but you cut him down. But either way, he was still sticking around, just chilling with 4 wounds. So he ends up alone a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
But
and that's your enhancements. So I think that they're mostly pretty useful, actually.
Yeah, it's
A
like,
couple of them are overcosted. This is probably overcosted. The head wop is Kill
what
Choppa.
is it, 30?
It is 20. The one above it is 25. The Follow Me Lads, that one's probably overcosted as well. But this is 20 points, so just getting dev wounds on your whatever. You have like 4 attacks on a guy, you know, it's like, it's not that much. You're not gaining that much from it, especially because it doesn't hit your extra attacks. So overcosted, but good either way. Good effects.
Well, I mean, it only means extra attacks, weapons. So like
Right.
not like stuff from like the Waaaagh, your that attack gets it. It just means like stuff like like Squig guy, like the pet Squig and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. All right, let's go to the stratagems here. Get over this war horde. So many orcs. All right, so you're careening. That's your first one. Epic Deeds, 1 CP. This is Graham's favorite stratagems ever.
Hey, dude, it's always works when you roll it after you see if the vehicle it didn't even explode, but you're like, oh.
Yep. So it's in any phase just after an orc vehicle unit from your army with deadly demise is destroyed. You target that unit, obviously. If you roll 6, you can use the stratagem even though it was just destroyed. Right? You target that destroyed orc vehicle if you roll a 6 for its deadly demise. So you can only do it if you roll a 6.
Yeah, it's kind of it's super duper conditional actually. It's kind of crazy how conditional it is. It would be much better if it forced an explosion and let you do it.
That would be so much cooler. I always misread things like this. Basically what it does is it lets you move or fall back, interestingly, before it explodes. So this allows you to like move a vehicle and then get, explode in your opponent's lines, or move it like a truck behind a wall, or move it to a place where the guys can get out safely behind a wall. So it's very, very strong for those types of reasons. And yeah, you just basically move it, and then before it explodes, units inside perform an emergency disembark. Yeah, so pretty good. Pretty good.
Yep.
That's your first one. Then you have Orks is Never Beaten. This is 2 CP. It's an epic deed. I don't know why it's 2 CP. But you get to fight after you're destroyed. So it's in the fight phase. The orc unit gets targeted after I fuck them up, and then they get to fight back on me. Automatically. You don't roll. So that one's nice as well. I don't know. Would you pay 2 CP for that, though?
I would if it... The problem is, orcs aren't... If your orcs are dying in the fight phase, they already did their job. They charged.
What if you're the one being charged?
Well, if that happened... I don't know. I just feel like more often than not, if I'm already fighting, I've already used my CP to get in, so I don't have it.
Yeah, that's usually how I feel with 2 CP strats.
If it was 1, it would happen more. But I'd rather reroll a charge to actually get in than hold up 2 CP for like what might happen if I get cracked back on.
Yeah, I could see it being useful on like a big squad that's about to get like minced by something.
If you're like playing against something like fucking World Eaters or who's right up next to your ass.
But that's what Orks is Never Beaten does. Lets you fight again, or lets you fight on death basically automatically. You don't roll. You have Unbridled Carnage for 1 CP. This is a battle tactics. Also in the fight phase, you target an orc unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a modeling unit makes an attack, an unmodified hit roll of 5 up scores a critical hit. So, with your detachment rule, that's pretty good. So you put this on a big squad of orcs, and they are getting sustained hits on 5 ups. For 1 CP.
Anything that can give lethal hits with it is also really, really good.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you don't have access to lethals, I don't think, in this detachment.
Is there not anymore?
I don't think so. Did you have that before?
I thought there was one. Am I
There
crazy?
may have been one that gave you lethals before.
It wasn't anything that was given. I thought something got... Or maybe I'm just thinking of anti-vehicle stuff.
Yeah, could be. That one's not bad.
I'm crazy cuckoo.
It is only 1 CP for that battle tactic. It's not bad. If you have the CP for it and you really want to fuck something up, you can do that. Then you have Arta's Nails. Like I said originally, this was changed. So you can't target a monster, a grot, a monster, or a vehicle. But what it does is in your opponent's shooting phase, you just pick a unit.
I believe it was just...
one to be wounded.
Sorry.
Pretty good. Subtract 1 from the wound roll. It was insane on a Gargantuan Squiggoth, because that thing is like toughness 14 or 13, and you're just -1 to wound it now. So las cannons are wounding it on 6s.
Yeah, it just excluded grots and vehicles before.
Yeah. So this one's still pretty good though, because
We can skip this next one. No, I'm
Oh
just
right,
kidding.
yeah. We basically will.
We honestly, I mean, it's the battle shock one. That's all that needs to be said, right? You see,
Yep,
you use it
it's
sometimes
completely
if you
worthless.
if you need to. That's all
So
there is to say
completely-
about the battle shock one. Like,
Completely worthless.
well, I mean, there are
Not
times.
doable.
The fact that it.
No way.
Okay, I don't understand why it has to have like a.
It
like
takes
a,
up
an
one
extra...
of your stratagems, like to just basically, it lets you use auto pass morale
a second time.
again.
I guess that's
So what it does.
want.
Well, that's true, but it's like, how often do you expect to be failing battle
Well, that's
shock
the thing.
tests
That's the
that
thing.
matter?
Like, not often. That's Anyway.
And it only targets a mob unit. So you select a friendly battle shocked Orks infantry unit within 6 inches of the mob unit that you pick for your target, and it has to be above half strength for your mob unit that you picked. Just so you guys know, that Ork infantry unit is no longer battle shocked.
Really?
You basically pick a big unit, you pick another unit within 6. That unit's no longer battle shocked.
Wait. So that's terrible. Not
not
below
great.
half strength. The only time they're going to be getting battle shocked is when they're below half strength.
And it has to be 10 or more models.
Huh?
And it has to be 10 or more models.
Yeah,
and not below
I know.
half
I'm just like, what?
strength. Oh, what a fun stratagem, huh?
I don't know, man. That one should have got axed.
Yeah, that's the worst stratagem in the Codex for sure. The next one, though, is good. The Here We Go. It's a battle tactic for 1 CP.
I think there might be one that beats that one out later.
Maybe. Well, we may get to that. Well, we will get to it. Here we go, though. +2 to your advance and charge rolls. So, really good on the turn that you Waaaagh. Target an infantry unit only, though. You can't put it on tanks or grot vehicles or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
No,
those are
just
pretty
waste good,
pretty good. Overall, pretty average based on what we saw in the index. Just with some
The only
changes.
change I think is what this
This
artist
definitely
nails
changed.
changed.
Was Cunning but Brutal a thing before? Was it this bad?
Where? The
The enhancement?
Oh, yeah, it was this bad. I don't know how much it cost before.
Damn.
It was there.
Alright.
No one ever took it.
Yeah, no wonder. So, this isn't even a bad detachment.
No, it's fine, honestly.
Orcs have a lot of good units, too. Like, they can make use from a lot of these things.
It's just
Artist
a
Nails,
little, like...
really good on, like, Swig Hogs. -1 to wound them. Toughness 7. Makes them a lot harder to deal with. Especially when you can take units of, like, 9 now. Kareem, annoying. Get your stuff behind cover where it's safe or just explodes in your opponent's face. Pretty good. Fights on Death, too expensive, but just about every Fights on Death strat is 2 CP if you don't have to roll for it. So overall, I mean, it's not a bad detachment.
No, the sustained hits is always useful. It's like classic Orcs.
Agreed. Alright, and let's
That's why it was
move
the
on
index.
to the next one. The Big Hunt. Take it away, Graham.
This one's kind of the big snooze for me, but I'll still talk about it. So this is the one that started your command phase. You can choose, like, I'm going to paraphrase this a bit here. You can choose a monster vehicle or character that is not on a transport, or can it be...
It has to be the Warlord specifically.
Oh, right, but you can choose a character if the Warlord... What is it? Like, you can...
Right, so if they're, like, isn't one of those things, you can choose a character.
Then you can select a character. Okay, I knew it worked like that somehow. And so basically, each time you declare a charge against that person, the prey, you can reroll the charge. And each time you make an attack against them, you improve the AP by 1. So basically, it's like a Orky O for the moment.
And it's only for beast snaggers.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's the Big Hunt. That's how. There's a lot of it's only for X as we get into these other detachments. The first one's really the only kind of like take all comers one.
Yep. That is true. But that's what this one does. So you just pick an enemy monster vehicle, the Warlord, or a character if they don't have, one of those 3 things.
Yep.
You get to reroll charges against it, and your armor penetration is improved by 1. Now that includes your shooting as well.
Which is pretty relevant on stuff like the War Tower and the spears that the Squig Hogs get that I always fucking forget to shoot.
Yep, makes them AP 2.
I do think the Big Hunt has the
That's
best
pretty good.
enhancement names out of any of the Orc. Like, Surly as a Squigoth and Glory Hog are just really good names.
Oh, that is a good
Scout
one.
9
Glory Hog.
on that unit is crazy too, as well as getting into talking about that.
So good because it gives the whole unit Scout
Yeah,
9 inches.
exactly. Yeah.
That's just silly because if you're going first, you're just gonna charge him with this huge unit of fuck you in the face, and it's gonna be really hard to deal with it unless you have like your whole army shooting at it basically, and even then you may not kill it. So yeah, that's really really good. Glory Hog. How many points is Glory Hog? 30 points.
That's a lot.
It is a lot,
It kind of
but
just,
you know it's worth
fine.
it.
You're already spending
Yeah.
a bajillion points if you're running that unit. You don't care.
Why not 30 more? But
Yeah.
giving it Scout 9, it's great if you're going second too, because if you put him like up in the front, in a position where you're like expecting, oh, I can move behind this wall or something. If I end up going second, you can just do the scout move and get behind that wall. So that's really nice.
This next one is Scrag Every Stash, and it basically just makes Beastnagga boys into normal boys because it gives them sticky objective.
Yeah.
So, so it says Beastnagga model. That just means Pain Boss or Beast Boss on foot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Despite because the other ones can't actually lead anything that can.
Well, it is 25 points, but it's pretty good because getting sticky objectives.
I guess
very
you could put it
nice
on. You could put it on your Beast guy, I guess, but.
You could put it on like the big guy, yeah.
But would you really wanna? I feel like he's gonna want to take one of the ones that has his name on it, you know?
Like the Glory Hogs.
Or the Surly as a Squigoth.
Or the yeah, you're probably right on that one. Maybe you take this on like a 20-man Beastnagga boy unit.
It's a little, yeah. I want to see like a reason to run. We'll get into this, the Pain Boss, but there's not many.
Yeah, we'll get to him. Then we got the Proper Killy. It's also a Beastnagga dude. You had one of the damage characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons.
I like this a lot.
It's 15 points. I personally think it's not worth 15 points. When all it's doing is giving you 1 to your damage. If it was +1 AP and +1 damage, that would be worth.
That's exactly why I like it on the foot beast boss who gets dev wounds on the charge.
Yeah, that is a good point. He does have dev wounds against vehicles or anti-vehicle 4-up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that'll make him damage 3.
Yeah. So that's one good place to put it.
That's like the place to put it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, fine. Proper Killy. I do still wish it had a secondary effect because a lot of these do. Like a lot of them will be like +1 strength and +1 AP, or like +1 damage, +1 attack, or
yeah,
you would think that'd be a real good one,
more... but it's melee weapons plural, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? It is
it's
melee
not
weapons.
Yeah, so if they have like, so that Pain Boss guy, does he have a claw and like a stupid injector thingy?
The Pain Boss?
Does he have the injector rule like the other guy has?
I think so, but this would also apply to your...
Oh, it's one to the damage. I thought it was another attack. Never mind.
Well, it also apply to your Squigosaur guy, because then he would be +1 damage to his fight and his...
But those are extra attacks, so you... Oh, no, you could add damage to that. Okay.
Yep. It's just all attacks.
I guess, but the problem is there's so many better ones for the Squigosaur guy. Because the next one that we're about to talk to, I think, is the preferred choice, perhaps?
Let's talk about that one.
It harkens back to the days of old. Surly as a Squigoth.
Surly as a Squigoth. Surly as a Squigoth is 20 points. So on a Squigosaur only, while it's leading a unit, each time an attack targets that unit, if the strength of the attack is higher than the toughness of the unit, they subtract 1 from their wound roll. The unit is toughness 7. So you literally cannot wound them on 2s. That's pretty good. I mean, -1 to be wounded for like 1 point, 2 points per guy. We'll say just 2 points per guy. It's good. It's good for 20 points. There's like all these are good. +1 damage, great. -1 to wound, great. Sticky objectives, great. 9-inch scout is great. So all these super duper good. I don't even hate their ability because you get to do it every turn. It's against monsters, vehicles, and the warlords. The only thing about this that I don't like is that your opponent might not have those things a lot of the time. So let's just like think about that for a second.
Yeah, you're playing. I mean,
if I have no monsters, no vehicles, you can still
you?
choose my warlord. But like maybe my warlord's a lone op in the backfield.
I know, but who are you that has no monsters and no vehicles?
A lot of lists actually don't have any monsters or vehicles, specifically so that they can deny secondary points. They may have like one or two, but like, okay, I've got a
I guess
Forge
then you just can't
Fiend.
do it at all. But there should well, then you should start picking characters, I guess. But it's really, it does make it a lot lamer.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. by any means.
No, I am. I think this one's the most like constrained.
It's just very niche.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the worst attachment. I think your speed freaks might be the worst.
the speed freaks aren't the worst because their detachment's bad though. They're the worst because their fucking data sheets are the worst.
Let's do these stratagems here next. Drag it down. Take it away.
Alright, drag it down. 1 CP. In the fight phase, you pick 1 Beast Snagger unit from your army, and until the end of the phase, melee weapons gain sustained hits, so it's like the old days. And in addition, each time a model in your unit makes a melee attack, they crit on 5s instead of 6s against the prey. It's only 1 CP, but it's, I don't know, would I, on a 20-man unit of like Beast Snagger boys, it's fine. I don't know if I'm spending that CP on like, if you're hitting the prey, it's always worth it. Don't get me wrong. But if you're not hitting the prey, I wouldn't use it outside.
If you have the CP, I think it's worth it if you have the CP.
It depends on what unit I'm using it on, because I'd rather use some of the later ones, probably, like...
Yeah, you may not also need this. Like, you might just be able to get through
they don't really have any... That's like their only more damage strat, which is kind of unfortunate.
What's the next one, then? Unstoppable Momentum.
Well, this one is, it's Mortal Wounds on the charge. So, you make a charge unit with a Beast Snagger mounted unit, so that means the Beast Snagger boys, or the Squigosaur, or Waaaagh. And so... You select 1 enemy unit within engagement range after they make the charge, and roll a d6 for each model in your unit. So you're definitely gonna be wanting to use the this incentivizes using the big 9-man.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that's also kind of like it kind of strangleholds this strat. And so you roll a dice for each one of those guys in that unit. So ideally 9, and for each 4-up, they're gonna be suffering 1 mortal wound. So you're gonna be doing 4, maybe 5 mortal wounds on average.
Yeah. But if it's against your prey target, you roll 3 additional d6, so that's actually pretty interesting. You roll 12.
Yeah. That could be.
So
I mean, it's like a better tank shock, really, but...
It basically is a tank shock, and I actually don't hate this at all.
No, it's fine.
Good.
It's a little hard to get off because of, like, a truck can tank shock at 1 wound.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Whereas these guys, you want every guy. If there's only 1 Squighog alive, you're charging in with 1 dice.
That's true.
But anyway, the next one's even bigger, or bigger.
Bigger.
It is 1 CP during the charge phase. Till the end of the phase, your unit is able to charge in a turn which has advanced or fell back, provided one of the targets of that charge is your prey. So it gives you like a mini Waaaagh for 1 guy, basically.
That's not bad, right?
No, I mean, if you want to it lets you commit to that turn 1 charge with your scout moved, guys, without blowing your whole Waaaagh.
That's true. So you scout move 9, you then move 10, so that's 19. You advance, that's at least a 20, and then you can charge afterward.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
If you went second, you could even re-roll that charge, probably.
Yeah, I guess so.
Actually, you could re-roll it anyway? No, he gives them +1 to charge.
Well, this guy, you can also re-roll charges against your prey, so...
Yeah, it's just getting your prey is... Because it's pretty easy for your opponent to pick what your prey is, almost.
Yeah, it can be.
Well, not necessarily. Depends on the list.
It also depends on... Yeah, I would say that's true to an extent. Because if you're not putting anything...
Well, you can put stuff in reserve, right? And it can't be a prey, right?
Yep, that can't be... Well, maybe. I think you might actually be able to choose something in reserve.
It just says a unit from your... It says if your opponent doesn't... Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
So if you can keep stuff in reserve, it's really lame.
Or embark within a transport. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to choose that. Okay. That clears that up. Alright. Where do you think you're going, Graham?
I think I'm going to go ahead and move 6 inches after you if you make a fallback move during my... during your movement phase.
Yeah, so that's what this does. It's in my movement phase. Pretty good. 1 CP. Strategic ploy, so you're not getting it for free by any means. But the way it works is if I fall back and you are within engagement range of me in the beginning of the turn or the phase, You can move 6 inches, and so my first thought is just move them behind a wall. That's always my first thought when it comes to these stratagems, because being able to reactive move is just super duper good.
I think it's pretty strong. I just don't think you're ever gonna really. No, no, I like it a lot. No, it's good for tying up blast units.
Yeah.
You'll have the CP for it.
If you have the CP, I think it's pretty good.
No, I think you will.
I think you probably save some CP for this, because you're not going to need to use it necessarily every turn, but you're going to want to use it a couple of turns during the game with a couple of different units. Like turn 1 into 2, you're using it on a different unit.
You can use the CP you're saving by not using this next one to use that one.
Yeah, so this next one is Stalking Tactics. It's not my favorite. It's a battle tactic, 1 CP, in your opponent's shooting phase. After your opponent selects targets, beast snag a stuff as a target. Basically what it does is it gives you cover, and if you're infantry, it gives you stealth. So
this would be better.
Yeah, like just rip this apart.
It's just so it's like go to ground from the core book, but just and if you're playing on GW terrain, the unit sizes that you're targeting, not having cover is hard. It's actually hard to do unless you're standing dead center on the board. So half of this never does anything on your Squighogs, and the other half is just okay. It's like smoke. Like I don't really see a time for stalking tactics to get used.
Yeah, I most of the time I don't think that you're going to need this.
It would be a lot better if it was in your opponent, not just the shooting phase. If you could use this in the fight phase, and it was just -1 to be hit.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Give it a little
more stalky.
Yeah, give it a little. Yeah, they're fighting the beasts. They don't want to get bit.
Yeah, like we were saying, like I don't know why Stalking Tactics is part of a beast snag, the big hunt. Like, you know what I mean? It feels out of place.
Well, it doesn't necessarily feel out of place. I could see them being like sneaky, putting some face paint on. It just feels like it should be the name of the next one we're going to talk about.
Which is the Instinctive Hunters.
Yeah, unless you pick up a guy and put him in reserve during your opponent's, the fight phase.
Yeah, it's at the end of their fight phase. So it's 1 CP, strategic ploy. Pretty good. Especially with a big squad of hogs,
It's just a beast snag a unit, so technically you could pick up the kill rig.
Yeah, you could pick up a kill rig.
You could pick up a kill rig or a word or the.
Why? Why would you do that?
You should could. I don't know. What is worth picking up? Just there's not. I wonder if there'll be a second beast snagger release.
I think you probably use these two in conjunction in a way, if you can. You try to move a unit, so you move a unit up, murder something, your opponent kills some of them, or they fall back. So okay, let's redo the example. You move up, you kill something, you pile into something else. The something else falls back. You then move 6 inches behind a wall. You fuck over your opponent's line of sight. So they'll still have some line of sight on you, but not enough to kill the whole unit, hopefully.
I think there's some merit in going for something like you're going second on turn 2. You rapid ingress, use the unstop. You can bring in a full-sized unit of beast snagger boys, right? With the boss.
Mm-hmm. You could, yeah.
You charge something and use unstoppable momentum here to do even more mortals. Try to kill it that turn.
Right.
So there's nothing engaged with you in your opponent's combat turns. You can pick that up and have it as another insertion on turn.
Yeah, and a lot of the time your opponent's not going to want to charge this unit.
No.
I've made that mistake against you, like carving paladins into them, just losing the whole unit after a couple rounds of combat.
There's a good chance that there isn't going to be anything that can get into melee with you if you kill what you charged, because it was probably like one of their few ranging units.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Or you're in a clump of dreadnoughts and you're just like a high. Or the freaking rage. What is he called? Rage Claw. What is the name of that guy?
The dreadnought.
The dread that just keeps attacking. It's what is it called?
The Death Company dread.
Is that the one?
It's a Death Company dread. Yeah, that thing's pretty nuts. I'm gonna run 2 of them next time. Yeah, so that covers our big hunt. Overall, I think it's pretty good. You got a pretty decent detachment rule. It's a little niche, you gotta have monsters, vehicles, or something on the table, but
The good ones are really good. The
pretty
bad
good.
ones you just won't use, so it's like, okay.
yeah, and I think most of their enhancements are usable.
I'll reroll a charge.
You know, I think they're costed pretty much right. There's a couple that are a little overcosted, but they're still good for what they do. And most of your stratagems, I think, are useful. Momentum charge thing, unstoppable charge, crunch your bodies with the big hogs. Great. This is good. Being able to reactive move, pick up a unit off the edge of the table, or just off the table, not even the edge of the table. That's really nice. This one's great. You know, the advance and charge for just one unit. So criticals on 5-ups is cool if you're targeting your prey and getting sustained hits, but you're probably not going to use that all that much. I think these two are the ones you use the least. Stalking tactics and bring it down.
Oh yeah.
Drag it down. All right, let's move on to the Kult of Speed. The red ones do go faster, I hear.
They do be going faster.
So this...
Now they are.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so we got the adrenaline junkies here, and it gives the rule that the buggies have been begging for since the index came out, and it's going to give them the ability to shoot when they advance, pseudo assault, or fall back. Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's what they wanted, but it's they wanted to be better themselves too. But we'll get into it.
Exactly. Like the attachment's great. It's just that the units suck.
The units are suffering for past sins.
That is true. There was a time when the squig hog buggy thing.
You take like nine buggies and like.
Yeah, like you could take like 27 buggies in a list at one point. Like it was outrageous. Yeah. So that's all you get though. You get advance and shoot, and then fall back and shoot. Most of the time, you talk about orcs here. Like they're not good at shooting, so fine, but. Let's just move on to the enhancements.
Ideally, you make up with it with volume, but
yeah,
you don't.
But
you're
shooting like strength 5 AP 0 DACA guns.
Well, those aren't the ones that yeah, okay. Well,
we're gonna go over the enhancements next with the Waaaagh Blaster. It's a def killer model only, so just the def killer Wartrike. In your shooting phase, after the bearer's unit has shot, if it's not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move up to 6. If it does, it's not eligible to declare a charge. So,
I mean,
it's only 10 points. Like, it's not bad. It's just like, I don't know.
You're probably gonna end up putting it on your Death Killer Wartrike just because the other one is.
Well, you have to.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Well, if you're gonna, well, yeah. Of the two that can go on him here, or
there are two of them that can go on one.
Oh yeah, I guess technically you could put the last one on him, but it would not do anything. It does something.
Hog tires?
No, never mind. You can do it. I'm dumb. No, I was misreading the speed mix right.
Oh, I gotcha. So this is okay, I think, though. You drive up a squad of war bikers. They shoot something, and then they move 6 inches. They can kind of hide a little bit with it. They only have an 18-inch range, so...
It could let you drive up to use his Melta in Melta range, then back up.
It could. It could also get you onto an objective. It could get you into a place where you're blocking an area out so that your opponent can't move through it.
Do you care to miss his Melta? That's the question.
Yeah, right. It's just like... I moved my Melta up and it missed.
Wow.
So, right,
again,
it's like,
you miss
wow.
all the was you don't take.
I do think it's good. I just don't think it's good enough. I think for 10 points...
Well, if the unit was better,
for 10 points, for 10 points, you can take this on like a 3-man unit for 10 points. You wouldn't, but you could.
I like this one. Faster than used.
Take it away.
Boys. So this one you can give to an Orc infantry model only. Probably going to a war boss leading knobs, or a war boss in mega armor leading mega knobs. And what it does is each time that bear unit disembarks, they're eligible to still charge, even if the transport made a move. Yeah, so this just lets you get those guys right up in there and charge out of the truck.
It is 35 points, though.
Yeah, but like, that's your enhancement, man. You're playing Kult of Speed, you're putting it on one unit like every game, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think it's probably best on like Mega Knobs, because they still do become ridiculous, even with one turn of WAAAGH. So
it's probably Mega Knobs. You could also justify a big blob of Boyz. Maybe?
I think so, yeah. I think
in a battle wagon.
Honestly,
like,
dude,
drive them up, 20 Boyz.
It doesn't even matter what you put this on. As long as it's going into a transport, it's going to be good. and it becomes better the larger the unit is. Kind of like in the example earlier with like giving things scout, like for like 2 points a model. This gives you basically the ability to charge out of a Land Raider. You're taking a 20-man unit plus a couple characters, 22 guys. It's like, again, like 2 points a model to be able to charge out of the transport. If you're taking on something like, you know, big unit of Meganobs, then it's...
If they have that that new mech, they can make like that weird move, that weird teleport move.
Yeah, we'll get to the mech at some point. I don't remember what he does.
He can make them like move. Oh, it's weird. He can move like through terrain.
Yeah, they like move through models as if they're not there, but it doesn't like add to their advance like the Necron Lord one does.
No, it's strange. Yeah.
Yeah. I think either a Mega Armored War Boss or a regular War Boss takes this. I think either way.
I don't think you're ever putting it on anybody else. I guess like.
Nah.
You could be crazy man with your flamers being led by a mech, but I don't think.
Can you even do that?
You can. Doesn't help much. It does give them the mech keyword in something we might talk about soon.
Whoa, what's that?
I don't know, it could be anything. It's actually not the next slide, is it? The next page.
So the next one we have is the Squighide tires. I think this is complete shit. It's 15 points. It lets you consolidate 6 inches.
This is why I was saying you're gonna end up taking the Last Blast on your Deathkiller Wartrike. Because this thing's so bad.
Yeah, like it's not that bad, but it's just not good enough
AOS.
The problem that I have with it, I would love it if it just didn't have the Deathkiller Wartrike tag, like that restriction. If you could take this on something else, I'd like that a lot more.
That's the thing. His base is already so cumbersome that moving it like that is often not possible anyway.
That, and it's just like you're doing it on fucking Warbikers. Like again, they're not like it's a 6-man unit max with a character attached. They're not that durable, and they're not good in combat comparative to other things in your army. I don't like it. I think it's useless. Then you got the last one, which is Speed Makes Right. What does this one do?
Extra CP.
That's not bad.
No, it's fine.
Except, it only works if the bearer is within 9 inches of one or more enemy units, and only on a 3+.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why this is in here, and I further don't understand how in the world this is worth 25 points.
Because speed, I don't know what it has to do with speed makes right.
Speed makes me gain CP, maybe, sometimes, if I'm really close to you and I paid the bank 25 points for it.
It's like, I mean, their enhancements are kind of mid, so...
They're very, very mid. The best one is Faster Than Used, by far.
Faster Than Used is just, like, what you're here for. And the fact that it's not part of your detachment and is only an enhancement is really painful.
That'd be really cool.
It kind of should be, man.
That'd be really good.
Or even better as like a, I'd even take it as a stratagem.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer it as a stratagem, because then you could use it on multiple things during multiple turns, and you know, you're not locked to just one unit coming out of a transport, like basically once before it dies.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go over these stratagems here. Tell me about the speediest freaks.
Oh well, when
I've met some speedy freaks before.
Opponent's shooting phase. Just after the enemy unit has selected its target, you can choose a speed freak or truck unit from your army that was selected as the target, and you get a 5-up invuln. And if you're toughness 8 or less, it's a 4-up invuln instead.
So basically a truck.
Yes.
So
that's the copters.
Yep, copters, bikes, all that stuff. So that's really nice on a bike unit. Like really nice on a bike.
Oh yeah,
unit.
bikes. Yeah, they love that.
Other than that, though,
it's fine.
You know, it's actually not. It's not bad. I think it's.
If you're getting shot by like a bunch of rockets or some bullshit.
I was gonna say it's kind of like niche because of like what it targets, but at the end of the day, all these detachments kind of only target a couple of different units. So for that,
a lot of these end up being even more niche than this one. This one at least lets you target trucks. Most of these are only speed freaks.
Yeah, and I like that you could target a bunch of different things with this. Specifically, I like that you can target the Death Copters. They're kind of annoying with a 4-up invuln, I feel like. If you took a 6-man unit of those things.
Yeah.
4-up invuln with 4 wounds.
I like that a lot, actually, yeah.
That's kind of hard to get through. It just makes it really annoyingly durable. And it's like if you have a unit of Death Coptas, plus you have some other speedy freak, dudes in a truck jumping out, charging or something like that, your opponent has to prioritize what targets they're going to go after. So being able to give them a 4-up invul, it's like, oh, I'm going to shoot this unit, and you're like, 4-up invul. And they're like, fuck, I can't kill this unit now. Or whatever it was. That makes them a lot more survivable if they kind of target priority wrong and try to go after something that they otherwise would have killed. With a 4-up invul, and you're so much more durable.
Absolutely.
That was
This
pretty
next one
good.
is not so good though. Swing flinging.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's fine. It forces a battle shock test on somebody within 9.
I automatically
Subtract 1
don't
from
care.
the result.
We can move on.
Yeah, it's it's what it is. Cool. So Daka
So-
Storm then.
So what exactly does it say?
Oh, what? Swing flinging? It's literally that during your movement phase, after you end a normal or advance or fallback move, you can target one of your speed freaks or trucks, and they honk their horn, and then that's maybe it scares some guy. So then you select one enemy unit within 9, and the enemy unit has to take a battle shock test, and they have to subtract 1 from the result. So it forces a battle shock.
Yep.
Could do
It's another
something.
battle shock ability.
Yeah, you can't.
that
It might do something. Yeah.
I will just delete from my mind immediately after flipping this page because I don't care. This does have like niche, it's niche. You could use this on certain things to try to force a battle shock test on something if it could be like game changing, that this unit becomes OC 0, then you could use something like this. But otherwise, you're not just going to randomly be flinging out squigs. It's going to be very, very calculated when you use something like this.
You're only going to use it when you're like, I can't let him use a stratagem on this guy.
You'll basically only use it when you're desperate.
Yeah, pretty much. It
All
depends
right.
on your opponent. If they have a stratagem you're afraid of, I guess, because a battle shock unit can't receive a stratagem.
Right.
So, I don't know.
That is
Anyway,
true.
this one's a lot better. Daka Storm. It gives sustained hits to a Speed Freaks unit. And if they're within
That's
9,
pretty good.
sustained hits 2.
That is not bad.
It cannot
This
be
is in your
combined with the
shooting.
next one we're going to talk about, which is lame, because that one
Yeah.
gives lethal hits.
Yeah, so it's literally the only restriction on here is that you can't target that unit with the next stratagem. But basically, yeah, it's just a shooting phase, 1 CP battle tactic strat. You just sustained hits 1 or sustained hit 2.
That's really good
Sustained
on
hit
stuff
2.
like rockets, where you're already hitting on only
Yeah.
like 5s, so like a 6 is already like. you
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That is true. Battle wagons don't have the speed freak keyword, do they?
They must not, because trucks are being mentioned here
Yeah.
on their own.
I'm
So
just
wait,
thinking,
does that
like,
mean
what if you gave a truck like sustained hits 2 with a bunch of
that
shit
must be?
shooting out of it? I guess
No.
that could be interesting, right? So you pick a speed freaks unit. You pick a truck that has
A truck
10...
isn't a speed freak unit though.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, 'cause that's why it's specified trucks in these other ones.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
Well-
would think it would be, but that must be why they have it like this, so you know.
We'll
the
have to
trucks are-
we'll get to the data sheets and see if it has the keyword, but it probably doesn't.
I know
'Cause you're
the
right.
copters do.
Yeah, because you're right. It specifically calls out trucks in some of these, so why would they do that if it had the keyword?
Yeah.
All right, so that was pretty good. We got Blitz of Fire next. I'll do this one. It's 1 CP battle tactics. It's the same thing as Daka Storm. It's a 1 CP battle tactics. You get lethal hits instead of sustained, and if you're within 9 inches, you crit on a 5 instead of a 6. So that's pretty nice if you want to try to chip some wounds off of like a big vehicle or something. Pretty cool. You can just drive up to it real fast with your advancing like squad, I guess. And get a bunch of lethal hits. So.
Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. I'm trying to think if there's like low strength, high damage orc weapons that like this. And maybe some of the like, what are those like rivet cannons that the custom Boosta Blasta has?
It's like 1 or 2 shots. It's not enough. You want to use this on something with as many shots as possible.
What is the
Same
mech
thing with
special?
Daka
That
Storm.
thing has a shitload of shots. On the
what?
The mech
The mech
special.
special?
It's
fuck is the
the
mech
name of the
special?
gun on the oh god, one of the buggies. We'll get to it soon.
All right, that might be a good target for it. Anything with a lot of shots is going to be a good target for either of these.
I was trying to think of something that's
yeah.
like a lot of shots but low strength but 2 damage. That's like your ideal
Yep.
Hard. Yeah.
Basically, like heavy bolter type stuff. You know, AP
Heavy
1 2 damage.
bolters.
Type
Yeah.
thing. That's what you're gonna want lethal hits on, because then they really start putting damage through on stuff. Full throttle. This is also battle tactics for 1 CP. It's after your charge phase, just after you end the charge move, you obviously target a speed freak unit. At the end of the turn, each model in your unit gets +1 to wound with melee weapons. So, I like it.
Yeah. It's.
I wish you could use it on anything and not just speed freak. It'd be nice if there was like 1 or 2 strats that didn't just target a speed freak
Yeah.
unit. If it was,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
one
Just.
unit in your
I
army.
mean.
Because this would be obviously very good on like a boy squad.
It's pretty nice on the
whole bunch of stuff that'd be good on.
the copters during the WAAAAAAGH.
That's true. This is
Because
not bad
you
on
do have a lot of attacks, and those attacks are no AP though, so that's kind of lame.
Well, that's okay. I mean, think of like, I don't know, a mirror match. You're up against 120 boys with a 5
I mean, oh yeah, stuff like that you'll chop through.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
don't get
nice.
me wrong, you're gonna blend through them.
Yeah,
but-
you'll blend through infantry for sure.
I mean, Choppa boys just on bikes love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the Choppas are nice too because they are AP 1, and so getting +1 to wound with them is actually pretty nice. It's just like, it's kind of underwhelming at the end of the day, but it is nice to have that on them. And it is only 1 CP, so if you really need some extra damage boost, I think that that's fine.
I like it.
Be kind of cool if this was renamed something else and just happened in any phase, like shooting or fight phase.
Oh, it's in the charge phase.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you use it. Like they could, they could change when it happens and it would be the same thing.
Yeah. So this last one here is more gets over here. In your opponent's movement phase, if after an opponent enemy makes a normal, advanced, or fallback move. It's pretty much the same as that Beast Snagga one, but these guys are faster, so they get to move 9 instead of 6. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same.
It's a little bit different.
Oh no, it's either way. No, it's is it? Oh yeah, you can target a different unit, not just one of the ones that was left alone, right?
Well, this one allows you to target any speed freak unit. It's kind of like Mist of Demios. So it's after your opponent ends, right? Ends a normal advance.
Oh,
or fallback
normal. I
unit.
missed the normal part. I'm dumb. My bad.
Oh, you're no worries. I miss
blind man
stuff every
reading.
single time I read any words on any piece of paper. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. You just get to move them.
Oh yeah.
Super good. Again, move them behind a wall. Move them onto an
Move 6
objective.
inches. Yeah,
Lock,
dude, I'm reading
lock
that.
an area out. Like, oh, you thought you were going to charge this unit over here with this squad of Terminators? Well, no, there's a bike squad in your face, and it's in front of you, and it's in your way. So I think that's great. Yeah, I think that's great. Overall, pretty fine. It's probably just as good as the Big Hunt in a different way. Like we were saying, though, the actual units that you use these on aren't the best units in the Codex, and so it just makes the detachment a little underwhelming. If they had a couple
Big
of
Hunt
different
has better enhancements.
This one does.
The Big Hunt does.
The Big Hunt does have better enhancements for
This one's
sure.
got
There's basically
more-
one here that's good, and it's faster than use.
This one's got Blitzifier and Daka Storm, which I actually feel like you'd use a lot. And it's just
You probably have to, I think.
Well, yeah. A lot of the strats are really strong here, except for Squig Fling, pretty much. Every sort of strat is good.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give that to you. This is great. Being able to move. +1 to wound is nice to have.
Yeah, this
Lethal
one's
and sustained. They're fine. Your shooting isn't super strong.
But you really
with the
need that
unit.
+1 to wound because there is no AP and no strength in this RB.
You know what I do think is actually good, come to think of it? Blitzifier on a 6-man squad of Def Coptas.
Oh yeah.
Because if they're within
If they're-
9 inches, their hits are just auto wounds.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No.
Sustained hits 2 on them could be hilarious as well.
Those are already twin linked too.
Are they twin linked? Then
they're
sustained hits 2 is probably better on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Which is the Dread Mob.
Dread Mob.
We got one
They've
more
got a
after
much
this.
more complicated ability than any
This-
of the other ones.
It is so much more complicated.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's you roll a dice and you either get sustained hits, lethal hits, or +2 AP.
Yep.
Whatever
That's all
you shoot
this
with.
exactly does. That's your try this button rule, and it only works on mechs,
It just looks
orc
more
walkers,
complicated.
or grot vehicle units from your army.
Oh, but if you
No.
pick it, it gets hazardous.
It does, yeah. So there's a secondary clause with this. You basically roll a dice every time a unit goes to do some sort of attack. It's shooting and combat. You roll a 1d6. You get either sustained lethals or crits are AP 2 more. So you roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Now, if you want, you can just pick what you get. So you can just get sustained hits, get lethal hits, or get better wounds, or whatever. The one you're never going to pick. If you do that, though, you gain Hazardous. If you already have Hazardous, you fail it on a roll of 1 or 2. So these can start becoming very dangerous very quickly, as Cram knows. Yeah.
I have one complaint about this ability, and it's that the sustained and AP abilities should be switched, which number rolls they occur on. The bad one should be on 1, 2, and give me sustained on 5, 6, so it feels better to roll 6.
Yeah. Yep.
It should, yeah.
Agreed. I completely agree with you there. So that's what you get. And also there's a secondary thing you get here. Gretchen become battle line. I'm not sure why that's added in here, but...
That's a fuckload of Gretchen for not very many points.
Yeah, that is a lot of Gretchen. That's a lot of space that you just take up. It's what, 120 Gretchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 500 points or something, right? 8 times 6?
132 Gretchen.
130, yeah, because the run herder guy or whatever.
Yeah, there's a run herd in each group.
So that's kind of hilarious.
Oh, wait, actually, it's a little less than that, because you only get one run herd, not... Right?
Okay, but still.
So, yeah, minus...
You're paying 420 points for...
126.
100 a lot of dudes. 126 dudes.
126 wounds.
That's a lot, actually. It just takes up so much space.
Yeah, and I think about that. Some armies don't have the actual number of attacks to get through that.
Yeah, literally. Like, some armies just straight up can't kill that many models, period.
They just don't have enough attacks, especially if you're rolling dice for your attacks. You're sweating looking at that. You're looking like stuff like D6 attacks on like Lehman Russ. Like, I better get my 5 with that blast. I need that. I don't want to get no 2s and 1s here. We're not gonna be blasting through these grots quick. Like,
nope. Especially on the WAAAAAGH turn when they have a 5 of invuln.
Oh yeah.
So I think they gain that, right? I think every data sheet in the army has that.
I think so.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's go to the enhancements.
Alrighty. Smoky
All right.
Gubbins.
Take it away.
All right, so we get the
Smoky Gubbins.
Yeah, I like the Smoky Gubbins. This gives the Bears models in the Bears unit stealth. Give it to a mech model only. So you can give this to something like a mech with a shock attack gun. You can give it to the mech in the leading, keep some looters a little safer up in a building or something.
What about Mega Knobs?
That's another one that I was about to get to. Yeah, Mega Knobs led by a big mech and mega armor like this a lot, especially if they're foot slogging. They don't have a truck for them or something.
Yeah, I agree. It's only 15 points.
I like this a lot too in the ones that are in the if you're gonna store some Mega Knobs in your Gorkanaut or Morkanaut, which you probably are in this faction, just to keep them safer on the first turn while they move up. Because then they'll end up getting out of that, and then they'll probably still have a turn where they could get overwatched or shot at before they actually get into combat. So
possibly, yeah. I guess
it's nice. Stealth is nice to have either way. They end up, but yeah.
Agreed. So yeah, for 15 points, I think it's definitely worth it.
So this is a super glowy thing. It can be good, but I don't really like random ones myself that much. So it's on a mech in your command phase. You roll, you select an enemy unit, and the thing that you have to select it before you roll, which is a bit of a shame because you don't know what's going to happen to this unit. So on a 1 or 2, they take a battle shock test. On a 3 or 4, they take D3 mortal wounds. On a 5 or 6, they're -1 to hit. Which, it's great, but I really wish you could roll it then pick.
That would be nice.
Because I don't paying points for something that might do nothing when I'm already in the like random tried out. But I get it; it's on theme with the faction. I don't think I'm going to be taking this one unless I've got free points laying around for nothing else.
Yeah, it's 20 points. I like it for the 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. The 1 and 2, I don't like at all. So that is something that you're going to have to consider if you're taking it. Is that you might just, like he said, it might just be completely useless if you roll the 1 or 2 and just don't do anything. The D3 mortal wounds is cool because then you can maybe zap something. It's almost like throwing a grenade somewhat. You can kind of just zap something that you need to zap. -1 to hit's also great because it's any time they make an attack. It's not just shooting.
I guess, yeah, it's in your command phase, which is a bit of an issue because you're not really
sure
what's
it,
gonna be.
Yep, that is the main
20
problem
points. 20 points seems expensive for something that's random.
I think
when we're looking at the rest
be...
of the codex, and we've seen some things that are around 10 and 15 that are just a lot less. I don't know.
The problem is that it has so many different effects, so you have to like balance it weirdly. So I get why it's 20 points. But yeah, I think the main problem with it is that it's in your command phase as opposed to some other phase, like after your movement phase or something.
This was in your opponent's command phase. It would almost be better.
That would be better as well, yeah. Because then you could end your turn within 18 inches of them and then try to do something.
Exactly.
New.
We'd let you move this guy up.
And it would be better for the battle shocking one because then the unit potentially might not be on, OC. The OC becomes 0. And they can't get strapped on them. But
exactly. It would be really strong then, actually.
That's if they fail it, of course, which they won't. But the chance is there.
Hey, but then you're going to force them to take another one with your Death Dread in this faction, right? Haha.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely going to pay like the however many points for a Death Dread.
130, baby. I have some you can do a lot of wounds with Death Dreads.
Yeah, I guess. I just wish they were more survivable.
They're not. But if you got one with full custom Mega Blasters out there, and we'll get to it in about a second. We get to the stratagems, but the next enhancement here is Press It Faster.
Mm-hmm.
This lets you double dip on the detachment rule by letting you pick a second, or let you roll a second time. You don't get to pick. You're not allowed to pick this one. So you get to roll a second time on the chart, and if you get something that you don't already have, you get both of them. You are allowed to pick the first one. It's like you're not like destined to have to roll them both, but you have to roll this one.
Yep. So this is 35 points though.
It's really expensive. This is interesting on Ludus, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Because then
I really like it on Ludus.
I don't even hate the +2 AP. In fact, if you were to roll a 3 and a 4,
not at
and
all,
then the 5 or the 6,
Ludus don't care. Ludus literally like every ability that you can get from this. The guy who made this subfaction loved Ludus. You could tell he hated tank busters. They all hate tank busters. They're like, look at that model. It's ugly.
I think that you're right with the Ludus, though. They definitely like having the +2 AP and lethal hits.
But the problem is, the Ludus also want this next one.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about it.
The Get Finder Goggles. So this is a mech only one, and ranged weapons equipped by that models in the bear's unit ignore cover.
So this is also great. This is basically +1 AP because everything in the game has cover all the time for 10 points. You're paying 1 point per Luda to have +1 AP.
It's a shame that normal shooters don't have AP because they don't really get any. Like, ignoring cover doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess kind of.
It depends on the opponent's armor save. If you have a 4-up save, it matters, but if you have a 3-up or 2-up, it doesn't, because they're just going to get their save anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of a 20-man blob of shooter boys in this subfaction, led by a mech with a war boss as well. And the war boss has a custom...
That might be interesting.
Yeah, well, you give them the Get Finder Goggles here, or even the thing that gives them both, and 20-man blob of shooter boys with sustained and lethals.
I think
reroll, and they're re-rolling ones.
Nah, I think you take that on Ludas, probably. I do like the ignores cover on them. I think that actually is going to be more useful than you think, because, I mean, we play a lot, so I have Marines a lot, and I have, like, armored content a lot. But there's a lot of factions where this will actually matter, and I think on a big unit like that, that could actually be impactful. Alright, you ready for some stratagems?
Some Clank and Claws.
Some Clank and Claws. This is 1 CP battle tactics. It's in the fight phase. You target an Orc Walker unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Each time you use the stratagem, you can choose to push it real good, and then until the end of the phase, you add 2 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the unit, and if you chose to push it real good, you add 1 to the damage characteristic.
I'm pretty sure it's just implied you always push it real good. Like, when would you not push?
I mean, this is a really good strat. It's 1 CP. You take this on a 6-man unit of Killicans. Now they're strength 10. They're 4 damage flat, I'm pretty sure. Like, that seems good.
The normal Death Dread goes up to strength 15 with this.
Goes up to strength 15, +1 damage on him. I don't know what his damage is, but
3
he's got a ton of attacks too.
damage, or is he damage 3 or 4?
He might be 3 normally.
He's 3 normally, yeah.
Yeah. So clanking my claws around, really, really good. Really good. Just really good.
We clank them right.
So what's the next one then?
Next one we got is Superfield Boiler. This one like gives you assault to the weapons on an Orc Walker. Just pretty strong for 1 CP. You're gonna want to give this on probably the Gorkanaut or the Morkanaut. Most of the time is gonna be the guy taking this. I guess you could take it on Grot Tanks. Or not Grot Tanks, Rip. Oh my god. Well, maybe you could.
Rip the Grot Tanks. I'm so sorry.
No,
I printed so many of them. And now they're just chunks of plastic.
Just lumps, paperweights.
Yeah, just turn them into killer cans. You'll be good.
Yeah, I'll throw arms on them. This will be used on. You can use it on Killicans too, but
yeah,
probably
I think
using
that's
it on.
really good.
Yeah,
because it allows your Killicans to not have to WAAAAAGH. They can just, or it doesn't let you charge. I'm sorry, but on the turn they do WAAAAAGH. I guess in that case, you get to advance them up. They still get to shoot because they get assault. And they reroll their advance roll, which is really nice. So you basically, I don't know, use this and then clanking claws with them.
Yeah.
You go clank, clank, and then...
You're probably not actually using this one as much as you'd think, despite how good it is.
I don't think you use it very often either.
Yeah, it's not a bad strat at all. But there's just a lot of good strats in this detachment that you end up using instead. Clanking claws is very strong. These next 2 we're going to talk about, they're both very good.
What are those?
Bigger shells for bigger gits. And this can target a mech, walker, or garrote vehicle. And it adds 1 to the wound roll. And if you push it, it adds 1 to the damage as well. But gives you hazardous.
Yeah, that's super good. It's +1 to wound and +1 damage.
Ludas can get this one put on them too.
Say that again?
Ludas love this one.
That's true. Yeah, +1 to wound, +1 damage. You can damage 3 wounding.
Yeah, right?
Whatever, and then you have both these abilities, so they're just like lethal hits with AP 3.
Like, probably wounding whatever you're shooting at on 2s or 3s if it's
unless you're shooting a vehicle.
Yeah, if it's on legs.
Like you're shooting a vehicle, yeah. Like this is.
If you're
just
shooting a vehicle,
good.
it's probably 4s now, but
most
still.
likely 4s.
But that's fine.
4s on all those attacks is fine.
You're gonna get a couple of them.
This is great. I do want to mention that this is also battle tactics, and I'll just mention now, they're all 1 CP. Every strat for this detachment is 1 CP, but this is a battle tactic, so your opponent could make this more expensive.
True. Say it was this next one. Daka, Daka, Daka.
Daka, Daka, Daka.
In your shooting phase, a Wark Walker or Grot vehicle. This one unfortunately does not affect mech-led units. That last one, bigger shells for bigger hits, could also hit the Boyz unit.
Yeah, that's true.
The ignores cover Boyz unit. That actually gets really scary.
What?
That gets really scary. Wait, 2 damage on that makes it crazy. With lethal hits? That's so
hilarious.
Scary. Oh, man. Too bad they're boys, and this is like in Magical Christmas Land where you get to shoot with 20 boys and then they're all there still. Anyway, so what Daka 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 does is you can reroll hit rolls of 1, but you're gonna push it, so you're just rerolling the hit roll. You're probably always pushing this if you're using it.
You're always pushing all these things. I do a lot of pushing myself. I enjoy it, and I recommend it. So
this one's
do
great.
That. Do that. This is great. I mean, rerolling hits for orcs plus your detachment ability. Get the fuck out of here. Like, if you had the CP, Graham.
If you use this one on the unit that has the pick both,
right.
Enhancement, it goes absolutely crazy on them.
Put both of these together on your unit of 20 boys.
The 20 boys dream.
Alright, we only got a couple left.
Conniving Runt is fine. It's not going to get used because you're not going to have CP for it because you spend it on the other ones, to be honest. It's in your opponent's movement phase. You can pick a Gretchen unit in your army that's not in engagement range of any enemy units. Or that is within 9 inches, but not within engagement range. So this is going to be like the Gretchen that are staring down like something that's infiltrating on your backfield, basically.
More or less, yeah. It's after an opponent makes a normal advance or fallback move, so it's kind of like another Mist of Demios thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. They can throw some bottles at them.
Yeah, that's true. It does on a 4+, you do D3 plus 1 mortal wounds to that unit, and then you make a normal move.
It's like a little grenade.
Yeah. How far do they move? Do they move 4 or 5?
Grots move?
Yeah.
Let me see.
We'll get to them in a moment, but you get to make a normal move. You don't get to automatically move a specific distance, I guess is my point.
Which means if it's the Grot unit that's led by that one dude, you get to move miles. Right?
Holy shit. I didn't even think about that.
Don't you add 6 to their move? He had 6 to their move characteristic.
Are you kidding me?
During the
That's
WAAAAAAGH
hilarious.
turn. During the WAAAAAAAGH turn, he had 6 to their move characteristic.
Bro, what? So he infiltrates up, right? Or does he scout?
He scouts up. You can get in that. You can move him up in a battle wagon with 20 of them and like mob. Because he can.
Well, like if you could, so you scout him up, right? However far. Your opponent then like moves within 9 of him, and you're like 12-inch move behind the wall.
Yeah, and throw some bombs. Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious, dude. Okay. Cool.
I'm blind. I can't find the Grot data sheet.
It's around there somewhere. I'm sure. I believe in you. The audience also believes in you.
I'm looking.
While you're looking, I'll talk about the extra gubbins. It's a battle tactic as well. So 4 of these are battle tactics, which kind of sucks because you can't make any of these free, but your opponent can make them more expensive. So this is 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selects its target to target an Orc Walker or Grot vehicle, not a Titanic unit, unfortunately. That was the target of the attacks. Subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? So you're telling me that your entire squad of Grot can things are -1 damage now? It's not just one model, it's the whole fucking unit. Crazy. That's a crazy stratagem. It's 1 CP, dude. Why is it 1 CP? That should be 2 CP. I don't ever complain about stratagems being too cheap. That one is too cheap. Because it has no drawback. Like, these ones have a drawback where you become hazardous and you blow yourself up. This just makes you impossible to kill.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so I think we're all kind of in agreement that this is busted. Yeah? We all in agreement about that?
Oh, yeah. I like this one. Oh, that's
yeah, this is a good one.
They have a 6-inch move. They have a 6-inch move.
Okay, that's interesting.
So in the WAAAAAAGH turn, you'll be moving 12 if they're the one led by that guy. Now, I don't think that's a good idea necessarily, but it's very funny.
So it's only in the WAAAAAGH turn.
He had 6 of their move in the WAAAAAAGH.
Okay, that's notable. Okay. Cool. Well, that's your Dread Mob. Insane. It's insane. Everything about it is ridiculous. Every single stratagem is good, even this one. Even this one. Oh. Even this one. They're both good, because having assault,
yeah, they're all pretty good.
Lets you do an action if you need to. So that's just useful in some situations. Conniving Grunts, you're never going to use that, like Graham said, but it's there and it's good. Like, what it is good.
You could use it theoretically. It's just that you probably won't have CP for it.
Yeah, most likely, because you're using it on better strats. This whole attachment is bullshit. It's super duper good.
Bullshit. It's units limited, like a lot of.
I actually don't think it's overpowered. I think it's a lot
that's like the units limit, man. It's killer cans.
Yeah, and well, I think that it's balanced because of the hazardous stuff. Like if you push your stuff, it becomes hazardous, and then if it is hazardous when you're picking your ability, on a 1 or 2, you die, and just that's very orky. It's very thematic. I really like that attachment. I don't think it's overpowered, but I think it's ridiculous. It's very, very ridiculous. Because everything is good about it. Like a lot of the attachments from other armies, like we call them good because they have a couple of good enhancements and like several good stratagems. Just this whole thing is just good from top to bottom.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's your Dread Mob, and there's more.
You can give the keywords because it has the mech keyword on it. Unlike a lot of these other attachments, you can hand out the keyword to other units by leading them.
Yep.
Which you can't really do in the Speed Freaks one. If you could like have there was like something part of it that was like, war bosses you have are Speed Freaks and have the tag, so it would give the Speed Freak tag to like Boyz or knobs.
Yeah, like give the Speed Freak tag to some other stuff that doesn't have it.
Exactly, and exactly.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Then if I could give Speed Freaks to a unit of Boyz or knobs, that would just let them make utilization of that +1 to wound on the charge strat. It just makes it a lot better for that one unit I have. And that also lets you open up making the charge out of a truck a stratagem instead of an enhancement.
Yeah.
Because then it can
Very
just target
true.
a speed freak unit. And
We
then it
should
could be
have
a
wrote
war
these
boss
rules.
led one of those. Yeah, you know, man.
We should have wrote the rules.
Mm.
All right, you ready to move on to the next one?
Yep.
Because there's still 2 detachments.
Yep, the Green Tide.
Green Tide, baby. This is... Alright, so this is what you get. Boys only. Literally 1 unit in the fucking index. Become insane. Boy units from your army have a 5 invulnerable save. Just all the time.
Yep.
In addition, each time an attack targets an orc unit from your army, if it contains 10 or more models, reroll a saving throw of 1 against the attack. Yeah. So, about how this is insane. Because when you have 120 boys that are toughness 5, that have cover, and a 5 of feel no pain...
It's just like what we were talking about with the Grots earlier.
You can't win the game.
Yeah,
You literally can't win the game.
a numbers game at that point.
Like, it's literally just... It's not a game anymore at that point. It's just, mathematically speaking, you cannot hit enough times, you cannot wound enough times, cannot fail enough saves for you to win this game in 5 turns.
No, that's not always the case, obviously, but like certain lists, that will be the case.
Yeah, a lot of, like, this right here changes the meta. Like,
It's a
straight
skew
up,
list.
this attachment changes the way that armies will be built. Because they need to be able to destroy huge amounts of infantry very quickly. And a lot of armies right now can't really do that. They're very good at killing heavy infantry. They're very good at killing vehicles. Armies are not good at killing tons of infantry.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
No, that's pretty much
there?
it. It's the same thing we were saying about the Grots earlier in Dreadmob. It's just a
Yeah.
numbers game.
That's even funny. You could probably even do it. Like, you're paying 750 points for 3 units of Clank and Claw Killicans. With the other 420 points, you have 100-something Grots. And you still have, like, 800 points at that point to take some other random stuff that you want in your list. So, yeah.
I will say it's a shame that this doesn't hit.
You would never do that, just to be clear to all of you watching. You would not probably take 120 Grots. It's just funny that you can.
It's a shame that the Green Tide thing doesn't hit stuff like Commandos and Burna Boys, though.
Yeah, like...
Are they
Could you
not
imagine,
boys?
though?
Yeah, I mean,
this is so ridiculous just as it is.
yeah,
this
I
is
wish
like-
Commandos had the boys tag.
It's just so funny because it's like, it's such a simple thing. It's like 1 unit gets 1 ability, and it's like, oh wow, that makes this, like, that literally changes the fucking format of the game.
Yeah.
People's armies are going to change because of this rule. Mine included.
Yas.
So
So
that's
this
really
first
good.
enhancement here is
Do it up.
ferocious show off. And it's gonna be an orc infantry model only, and whenever the bear fights, he gets +1 to his strength. And if the bear's unit contains 10 or more models, it's 3 instead. So that's gonna give you some wild strength on your war boss, because he's the guy who's gonna be taking this 9 times out of 10. Probably 10 times out of 10.
Most likely, yeah.
I'm not sure, like, I guess you could take this on, like, the Pain Boy if you're crazy, but, like...
You could take it on a Pain Boy. I don't
But
think...
that's not
Well, he
gonna
does have a
really-
Power Claw, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a claw. You could do it.
I guess, yeah. You probably take it on a War Boss.
Yeah, you could take... I guess it just says Orc Infantry model, so you could actually also take this on, a, War Boss in Mega Armor to get damage 4 in the Waaaagh on his, axe. Which is interesting. You'd never get the damage. You'd never get the 10 or more models thing. Yeah, because his axe is damage 3 during the Waaaagh, and you would add another damage to it from this.
Add one of the strength characters.
Oh,
to give
strength.
him
I'm silly. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so it's still
Never mind.
nice, though,
No, it's
because
decent.
he's got strength like 15 or something. 14, which is
Yeah.
pretty high. Alright, our next one is Brutal,
Brutal-
but Cunning.
Isn't this
Brutal
the name of
Cunning.
another one?
You gotta do the voice. I can't do the voice.
I can't. I got no. Brutal. I can't do that. It's brutal.
There we go.
It's brutal. No. You gotta get talking like this, and you know war, and it's brutal. War tactics occasionally pop into an orc's head, revolve purely around throwing as many boys into the enemy's face as possible. Yeah, alright, like that.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, orcs model only.
So infantry model, rather. In your command phase, you can roll d6, add 2 to the result if you got 10 or more models in the unit he's leading, and on 5 up you gain 1 CP.
So,
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. This is 25 points.
Yeah.
I cannot pay 25 points for that. This is only 10. The plus 3 to your strength.
Yeah, that one's not
That's fine. Plus 3 or plus 1 and then plus 3 to my strength. I'm cool paying 10 points, I guess. It's still whatever. But Brutal but Cunning for a 5-up chance, which is a 3-up chance if you're 10 or more models, you gain a CP. It's 25 fucking points, man. I don't know. So this is my initial thought. My initial thought is that you take this on something and, like, you keep it in the backfield. But then you have, like, a 200-point unit in the backfield, getting you a CP on a 3-up.
That's the thing. It's awkward.
It's very awkward.
It has to go. The unit it wants to go on is the unit you have with a weird boy, because they're going to be waiting to go in a little longer.
That's true. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
even then, it's a little
weird one.
It's a little bit of a weird one.
It's definitely a weird one. Not a big fan of this for 25 points. That's really all I have to say about it. It's brutal. It's just brutal. Thirsty belligerents.
I like
this. Is also only an Orks infantry model. While the bear is leading a unit, you can reroll advanced rolls made for that unit. While it's got 10 more models, reroll charge rolls.
And then there's the thing is, this is actually the one you want on the guy with the weird boy, because you want to reroll the charge roll.
Yeah, because he teleports the squad in. They're 9 inches away, and you're going to want reroll charges on that unit without spending a CP.
Well, with the weird boy, I said that. If you're playing Greed Tide, you have 3 weird boys.
Right, and then I think you have a strat that makes them spicy. We'll get to that. But this is great. It's 15 points. Like, reroll advances, reroll charges. Yes, please. 15 points. That's like less than 1 point per guy if you're taking it on a 20-man unit. I like to think about the enhancements that way sometimes if I can, because it like makes it sound better, yeah. I guess. But yeah, being able to reroll your charges for like less than a point per guy, I think that's pretty good. And so does Graham. Raucous Warcaller. This is Orks infantry only. While the bear is leading a unit, it always counts as 10 or more models for the purposes of your detachment rule and any stratagems you use.
Notably, it does not account for other enhancements. So if you have this guy in a unit with 2...
True.
You know how the Boyz unit can have 2 guys leading it?
Right.
You can't, like... It won't make that unit count as 10 for the other guy's thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it specifically calls out stratagems, but not enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting point to note there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would be kind of interesting to force something to always be 10 for some of these other things in a 20-man that's with 2 leaders.
I think this is the combo with the 2-up rerollable save.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we can find it.
This is one that a Pain Boy likes to carry.
The Raucous Warcaller?
Yeah.
While the bear's leading a unit, it always counts as 10 more models. Why?
Just because the other, it's not like, it's one that he can carry that doesn't really matter, that while the War Boss carries a more damage-oriented one.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's because it's a 20-man unit with both of them.
Yeah.
And you want the buff on the unit, but the War Boss wants something more offensive.
Yeah, alright. I'm with you there. Okay. Fine. Well, those are your enhancements. Yeah. Raucous Warcaller. Yeah, Raucous Warcaller is 20 points. So
that's kind of a lot.
It is a lot, I think.
Half a grot.
Let's talk about some of the strats, because I think that this combos with some of the strats.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the strats. Right away. Competitive streak. You can pick it in the fight phase. Pick one of your boys that hasn't fought yet. Lets you reroll wound rolls of 1. But if you got 10 or more, you just reroll the wound roll. Pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid. I mean, just straight up reroll wounds for all your attacks. I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
It
is battle tactics, so people can make it more expensive.
There's not much, like, we're not going to be doing as much like speculation about things you could do with this one, because it's just, you're going to use it on boys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them are. I'm pretty sure all of them are like that, where it's just like you just pick boys. Your army's made of boys. Your stratagems are made of boys. Your enhancements are made of boys. It's just boys.army.
Mm-hmm.
So
this next one has like italicized text for some reason. and like, is this just water damage on my book? It's just water
Could be.
damage. I don't even know what this is. Anyway, it's bulldozer brutality, and it's also in the
Boyz
fight
brutality.
phase. All same exact. No, it's one Boyz unit that has not been selected to fight and is in within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Interestingly, the previous one, you don't have to be within engagement range to use it. But I'm not really sure why you ever would if you were outside of engagement range. I guess if you were gonna if you charged something
You just
somehow
wouldn't use it.
Yeah, it's just odd it doesn't have that anyway. But what this one does is until the end of the phase, each time your unit select a fight, when determining which model in the unit are eligible to fight, if you're within 3 or more words. If you're within 3 inches of one or more enemy models that are eligible to fight, when resolving attacks, you can target. What on earth? You get to target guys that are within engagement range of guys you're targeting. Is what it says. That's what it does. I just can't freaking construe. There's too many 3 inches. If a guy is within engagement range of the guy that you are attacking, you can target him as well. That's what
Basically, it extends your engagement range to 3 inches. And so, like, your whole unit of boys can fight at that point in multiple ranks.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I think you can get around it a lot of the times if you make it a good, good charges, and if you're kind of using. Yeah, if you're actually using your pile-in moves to make space for more of the guys, you usually won't need something like this, but in the situations where you're being bottlenecked, that's nice to have.
That can happen a lot on the GW board, actually.
Yeah, and especially when you're playing against me. I'll just, like, make walls and stuff as much as I can. Kind of try to corral you into some spot. But not when there's a bunch of mega knobs involved. Then I just lose. Alright, you do have the bragging rights right now.
The bragging rights.
It's a strategic ploy. 1 CP, your command phase, you target 2 Boyz units from your army that are within 6 inches of each other. Till the start of your next command phase, while those 2 units are within 6 inches of each other, they both count as having 10 or more models for the purposes of your detachment rule. Any enhancements models from your army have, and any stratagems. So this specifically calls out the enhancements, so yeah, you're right on the other point there.
Yo.
This was interesting, I guess, right? Is it interesting?
I mean, it's paying CP to use CP, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's fine. It's just
you're paying an extra CP to be able to use more CP on that
later.
Unit. Yeah, it is kind of awkward there.
Because, like, say they just like be like, all right, well, I'm not gonna involve myself with that unit. Like, it gives your opponent a lot of agency.
I also just don't think it's like if you're doing it on a unit.
Then again, though, you can do it on a unit that they have to care about. Like, it doesn't.
Whatever the effect ends up being on this unit that isn't actually more than 10 models, it's probably like +1 attack or something.
It depends on the unit. Yeah, if it's like that if it's your war boss suddenly having 14 attack and being able to crack a tank, even though all the boys are dead.
With like competitive, if you were to use competitive streak with bragging rights, it's like cool. My 7 boys that are left in the unit get +1 to get reroll wounds. Like at that point, like it's not nearly as impactful.
Yeah, it's a lot better with the enhancements. Is what I'm trying to like with the 3 strength thing.
Yeah, that one's
to get
not
that
bad.
online.
Oh, and I just realized that this Raucous Warcaller is what you combo with the mob mentality. That's how you get a 2-up rerollable, because it says, in addition, each time an attack targets an Orks unit from your army that contains 10 or more models, reroll a saving throw of 1. And so the Raucous Warcaller, it makes you always count as 10 or more models. And so it doesn't matter if it's a Boyz unit or not, it just gets reroll saves of 1.
Yes.
So, anyway. Okay, so that's our bragging rights. Probably your worst one.
Yeah.
Come on, lads. I would rather not. Is the next one. It's 1 CP.
This one good. I'd come on, lads. I'd rather. You get back 2 plus D3 guys. It's good.
Yeah, but I don't want to come on any lads, you know? Yeah. Much
Sometimes,
prefer
you know what they
ladies.
say, you gotta come up on a couple lads to make an omelet.
You target a Boyz unit, you return D3 +2, destroyed
good, yeah.
model.
It's simple, it's good. You'll use it on some boys. You'll get them back.
Yep.
Some guys stand on objective. Probably big unit. It's real cool on a unit that has Pain Boy, because he can bring
so
some
I
back
think
too.
I'm pretty sure you can also use this before you take battle shock tests and stuff, because it's just in your command phase, right? And I don't know for sure
Well,
because
yeah,
a lot
you
of
wouldn't
things
take a
will say,
battle
like,
shock test then, right? Wouldn't you?
I don't know, because certain things will say like at the start of your command phase or at this point in your command phase, but like those are not actually defined points in time. And so this just says your command phase, indicating that it could be at the start, at the end, or somewhere in between. You can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure because it's
You
just
do
any
whenever you
time
want,
in your
yeah.
command phase, you can order it whichever way you want. So if I'm correct, that means you can bring guys back, not take a battle shock test in that case because you're hopefully over half destroyed, and be on an objective and not lose it. Or similarly, be able to create new models that are within 2 inches of the ones that were already there and be on an objective that way. That's pretty good. Either way you slice it, being able to return
Yeah,
models.
it's nice. Yeah. Next
Then you
one's
got the
Tide of Muscle.
take it away. The Tide of
This
Muscle.
one's in your charge phase. You can pick a Boyz unit that declared a charge this turn, and you get to add the current battle round to the number of the charge rolls. So late game, this is pretty crazy for getting those weird boy dropped in boys in.
Yeah, so this is insane. So what you do here is you take Bloodthirsty Belligerents, and you get to reroll your advances and your charge rolls. You then teleport a unit up with a Weird Boy, and give them +1 to charge with a reroll on turn 1. On turn 2, you just teleport a different unit up and get +2 to charge. And now you're on a 7-inch charge with a reroll from a CP. Turn 3, you're on a 6-inch charge with a reroll from it. So yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. This is dumb, especially because you can use this just normally. Like you just move your squads up, you advance them, you Waaaagh, you want to charge. Maybe you didn't Waaaagh, I don't know. But you could add, if you're 12 inches away from something on turn 4, this gives you an 8-inch charge. That's really good. That's super duper good. I was gonna say you probably use this every single turn, but you probably actually don't, because a lot of the times you're just gonna be within charge range anyway. You'll be in a spot where you're gonna make it. But there's gonna be some longer charges. You'll find that you really need to get onto the middle point or something, or something like that. And you're like, shit, I'm 7 inches away. And you're like, I really need to make this charge. I'm gonna make it a 5 because it's turn 2. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty fucking good. Pretty annoying. And then got him. Is this what I think it is? Why don't you read this? Because I'm pretty sure this is what I think it is, and I'm gonna have a panic. I'm gonna have a heart attack if I read this.
Alright, so it's in your opponent's shooting phase. One Boyz unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more attacks. After the attacking unit is shot, your unit can make a go get 'em move. To do so, roll 1d6. Each model in your unit can move at a distance in inches up to the result, but your unit must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, models can be moved within engagement range of the enemy unit. If your unit contains 10 or more models, it can move 6 inches when making the move instead, so you don't have to roll. So
Wow.
yeah, when you get shot, you get to move 6 inches towards whoever shot you. Well, not even just move 6 inches towards the closest enemy unit. Not even necessarily who shot you.
Yeah, so this is so good. You can control what units they charge into because it is the closest units, but it's still they've gotten closer to your stuff, and now they're in combat, so you can't shoot them anymore. So it makes it really hard to countercharge this army, because if you try to get close to them and then you end up shooting at them, if you do a couple of pot shots at something, this can then just move a unit into combat. So this is kind of a gotcha in some ways. If you don't really expect it, if you don't know it's coming, that can really fuck you over.
Absolutely.
That is my assessment of that.
I like that.
I like it. I like it to good. All right.
So I guess before we go on to the next one here, talk about a couple of units that you'd want to take in Green Tide that aren't boys.
Sure.
Probably Storm Boys and Gretchen, so you can actually play the game.
Well,
but you might not actually need Gretchen. Yeah, you probably want them for the CP.
I mean, you probably play the game pretty well anyway, because you have 120 guys that move up.
Yeah, you don't need to pick more than one unit of them just for the CP generation, because you're going to be wanting that.
I think you also take Mega Knobs for this, for the combo of re-rolling rolling saves of 1, which is really annoying if you're in cover. because then if you're AP 1, you still have a 2-up save. And even having a 3-up reroll 1s, that's actually pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
The good, with last but certainly not least, Bully
Definitely not
Boyz.
least. This detachment is awesome. So, we got the bosses watching. What this is what it does. It's at the start of the battle round, in which you have not called a WAAAAAGH. If you have one or more war boss models on the battlefield or embarked in a transport, you can call a WAAAAGH for a second time this battle, and when doing so, the second WAAAAAGH only counts as being called for war boss knobs and mega knobs. That's okay, because mega knobs are absolutely fucking insane, and
So are
that's all you
knobs.
need to win the game. So,
Yeah. They're
yeah,
great.
this is a crazy strong detachment, just like the last two. They're all kind of competing for top spot, I think. Although I don't know, man.
I think this is the one for right now.
You think this is the one? Yeah, this one's
This
pretty
is
good.
the one that's gonna catch the first round of nerfs.
Yes, for sure.
Mega knobs are gonna.
I think this is gonna get changed to a 6-up invul, if I'm being honest.
That's so lame, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. My predictions are like half right, half wrong, so we'll see.
Anyway,
Enhancement time.
we got the teleporter, and you're gonna be taking this pretty much every time. It goes on a war boss in Mega armor. So this is gonna go on probably a 6-man unit of Mega knobs led by a war boss in Mega armor, because he's the only one
Like
who can take it.
every single game, every
Yep.
single time. Yep.
6-man with that. You'll have a 6-man with that, and then you'll have another 6-man with Gaz, and then you'll probably have either another 6-man or more likely a 5-man in a truck or something. Although you could just honestly do a 6-man in a truck and just not have it have a leader.
That's true. Yeah, the leaders are nice to have in these, but they just become so damn durable that
It's so expensive.
that too. It adds, it's like 2 mega knobs.
Yeah, like I
basically
can
for a
just
leader.
pay the Mega knobs are so durable, and I could just pay 30 points for one of them instead of like 80 for the leader, or 100 if it's the bulky
Yep.
leader. Although if you're gonna have them not in a truck, I would have them led by the guy with the big mega armor for the custom force field for the 4-up invult against shooting. It's pretty good.
That is pretty good too. Yeah. Jeez, there's so much good stuff in this one too.
Oh yeah. But anyway,
You got the big gob.
This
This
one's
is at
alright.
It's
not
okay.
great. It's
so
a battle shock rule.
The teleporter is 25 points for the deep strike.
Yeah, so it's gonna end up making your war boss and mega armor 105 or 125.
Right. Yep.
Oh no,
Instead
you
of
can't take
80.
it the other guy. Yeah, yeah.
So that's still worth it though. Just being able to rapid ingress a unit of
Yeah.
Mega Knob is like, oh god, what do I do about this? So super good. The big gob though, Mr. Gob.
Not a fan of the big gob.
The gob is 20 gobbers.
20 gobbers for a battle shock test.
That's so bad. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of the bear. Take a battle shock test at -1.
Yo,
Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now. At the end of the fight phase, the things your mega knobs were attacking are gonna have to take a battle shock test anyway. So don't worry about doing this. Like,
Jesus Christ. So
if
take
they're
2
not,
battle shock tests.
like, I guess you could like battle shock. It's not good.
No,
If it was
you're
gonna matter,
probably-
your opponent's gonna stop it from happening. So don't worry about it.
And you'll probably kill the thing that you're in combat with anyway.
If you don't, then you have bigger fish to fry. Like than
Yeah.
them using fucking something on it. I don't know, man.
Yeah. It's 20 points for it. Like how do you...
I mean, you could say like battle shock like a unit of guardsmen or something like that, high OC little dudes that you're not gonna be able to
Sure.
shoot through all
That's
of to
always-
steal an objective.
That's always the dream, is to battle shock, something off of an objective, and then you go to do it, and it doesn't matter. But it seems like, yeah, basically it just doesn't matter. There's like one time in a tournament that it mattered, one game,
This next one is in a similar boat, honestly. The biggest boss here, you get 2 wounds on an infantry war boss. I mean, if you have the points for this, you can throw it on a guy if you want, but like it doesn't really. There's not really a guy who's like, damn, these 2 wounds really change everything for this guy.
Right? And speaking of the points for it, it's 15 points to add 2 extra wounds. Like,
Yeah.
that's 7.5 points per wound. I don't think it's worth it, personally.
Eh,
I don't think
it's
it's worth
really
it.
not. Like,
I'd rather take the big gob than that. And that's saying something.
But yeah, the big gob like does something. There's not. If there was like a guy with a feel no pain,
Then that would matter.
Yeah, but there isn't.
4 wounds.
There isn't.
But, right. Because this is on an infantry war boss model only. So basically, there's 2 things this can go on.
I guess this can go on. Yeah, I guess there is a guy with a feel no pain. This can go on a beast boss.
I guess it could go on a beast boss, but he's only got a 6-up feel no pain.
But the next one we're about to talk about is way better on him. It's the one I like to take on him.
Ed Stompa? I don't know what this does.
So this is the one that lets you reroll your wounds. You reroll wounds of 1. It's an infantry war boss can take it. Let's see, reroll wounds of 1. But if the target's below half strength, you reroll the wound roll instead. So with the devastating wounds on the charge on the beast boss, rerolling that wound roll is quite strong, especially with the anti-vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice to have on him. Okay. Well, I mean, either way, I think being able to reroll wounds...
You're rerolling the hit, too. You're rerolling the hit, too, from from the Beast Snagga Boys he's leading's rule. So you're rerolling hits and wounds with that on him. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. It's only 10 points.
Yeah, the pricing of the enhancements in this book is really wonky.
It makes no sense.
They value Battle Shock way too high, and then they value, like, strange... Like, I don't... Like, how much is the biggest boss? 20? Or 15?
The biggest boss?
Yeah.
It was 15.
Yeah, and Ed Stompa's less than the biggest boss, you're telling me?
Yep.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
33% less.
They should swap those, or just make them both 10.
Yeah. Let's go on to the stratagems.
Yup.
All right. Go for it. Arm to the teeth.
Arm to the teeth. So you get a knob or a mega knob with this one in the shooting or fight phase, which is interesting. A lot of them haven't been involving the shooting phase at all. And it's odd that the mega knobs, the fucking detachment, is the one that decides to. Because they have, just after they stripped away all their guns. So anyway, what this one does, until end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack, you can reroll hits of 1, but if it's the Y, just reroll the hit. Pretty simple, pretty good.
Pretty nice to have. So this means that you don't necessarily need to take a war boss in a unit of mega knobs, because you can give them reroll hits, and they are twin linked, so they're going to be rerolling wounds as well.
Yeah.
So that's great. Then you have Too Arrogant to Die. This is a strategic ploy for 1 CP. These are also all 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase. Just after an enemy unit selects its targets, you target a knob or mega knob unit from your army that was the target of the attacks, and then until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if it has not fought, roll d6, adding 2 if it's the WAAAAAGH. On a 5+, it gets to fight, basically. That's why this is 1 CP, is because you have to roll for it. It's on a 5-up unless it's the WAAAAAGH, which is it's going to be the WAAAAGH, and it's going to be a 3-up then. So if your entire unit of mega knobs somehow dies in combat to something, which, let me be clear about this, won't fucking happen, you can fight back on a 3-up with each guy.
Fucking crazy. It's a good one.
That is a good one, for sure.
Note they're all 1 CP again.
Yeah, right? It's nice. Your next one is always looking for a fight. Had to add the fur in there. It's in the fight phase just after an enemy unit is destroyed. You target a knob or mega knob unit until the end of the phase. Each time your unit makes a consolidation move, you can move D3 plus 3 instead of 3. If the WAAAAGH is active, you can move 6 instead. Immediately, I just think this is good to get on an objective. If you need, because you can only make the consolidation move if you can get onto an objective. So if you find yourself, 5 inches away from the objective, you're not able to move at all. This allows you to move 6 inches, and this is faster than a mega knob unit moves in the movement phase anyway. So this is just nice to have, to be able to move onto an objective. I think it's a little niche, but yeah, it's nice. What do you think?
It's all right. It's not gonna. I feel like you're not gonna end up saving strategy points for it, but if it comes up, it comes up.
Agreed. Like, if it's something you're like, okay, I really need to get onto this objective this turn, I'm going to use this stratagem, you'll be able to get onto that objective. And I think it has a lot of uses for those types of things, for like actual strategic play. But a lot of the times you won't need it.
Yep. Next one, Crushing Impact, is a Mortal Wounds on the Charge type one. You can do knobs or mega knobs. when you charge, and you roll a d6 for each model in your unit. And then for each 5-up, they suffer a mortal. And if it's the Waaaaagh, it's each 4-up. This is
That's
okay.
actually, yeah.
You're going to use it on 10 mans of knobs more, but I don't really... 10 mans of knobs are fine. I kind of like a 5 man of knobs more right now, I feel like. Because it just does more things.
Either way, I think if you're kind of comparing it to like a grenade strat, it's basically a grenade strat in combat.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a small
grenade's
tank
always
shot
the same. Yeah, it's like a tank shock type thing. It's fine.
Yeah,
if
so
you can use it to like pink down a hero or something.
You can use it in a couple different ways. You can use it to plink down a hero. You could use it to get something out of the way. So like if there's a wall of scouts in front of your thing, you could crushing impact them out of the way and then pile into my Lancer and attack my Lancer instead. So that's nice to be able to get things out of the way with. Or if you just need to do some extra, you shot at something in your shooting phase or something like that. Orcs don't have a lot of shooting, but let's just say you did damage in your shooting phase and it's only got a couple wounds left. You could, in theory, just charge into it, get rid of it without even attacking, and then pile in.
Yeah, with actual grenades or something.
Yeah, basically, think of like grenades, but in combat. So I don't think it's bad. Does it max at 6? Yeah, maximum of 6. So yeah, I mean, if you took like a unit of 10 regular knobs, you could probably get more out of this.
It's fine. I wouldn't go around it.
I don't know if you really need to force the issue by doing that.
No. This next one, though, you don't need to force the issue to make happen.
I fucking hate this.
This one's so strong. Alright, so cut them down. You can target a Mega Knob or Knob unit you control when an enemy unit tries to make a fallback move to get out of engagement range of that guy. They have to roll a Desperate Escape test, and they subtract 1 from that test if it's during the Waaaagh. So what that means is, what is it, on a 4-up, you die? Or a 3 or less, you die?
1, 2, or 3, you die. So on a 4, you live. But this has killed 2 Redemptive Dreadnoughts so far.
In 2 games, yeah.
Because I needed them to not be in combat with this damn unit, so I can shoot at it. But yeah, I mean, what happened to me? My Dreadnoughts died from using this, but I achieved the effect I wanted to achieve, which was that the unit was no longer in combat. So better to have my unit die and fall back and just die than to leave it in combat and not be able to shoot.
Keep telling yourself that, man. Keep huffing that copium. Anyway, but yeah, that one's real good.
So
you can trade points. You can trade really well with this. Just make trades you shouldn't be able to make.
Super good.
It's a very gotcha-y one too, if people forget about it.
Yeah, because I forgot about it, and I was like, well, I still need to be out of combat either way. So if I lose the unit, I lose the unit. But yeah, very, very gotcha, because I forgot about it, and I was like, fuck, like I don't want to just randomly lose this Dreadnought. And then I was like, well, it is what it is at that point. I have to get out of combat. So yeah, this is a really, really good stratagem. For 1 CP, you can just like wipe a unit out. You can wipe half a unit out. Really good.
Yep.
Because this affects all models.
Yep.
So like you could tag 1 model with this, and all of them have to take a Desperate Escape test.
What?
So that's super duper good. All right, and then Graham finally got the stratagem he was asking for since the beginning of 10th.
Yay!
Hulking brutes.
It's Armor of Contempt.
It's literally just Armor of Contempt.
It's just Armor of Contempt for knobs and mega knobs.
Yep, just knobs and mega knobs, and only in the shooting phase.
Yeah. But that's when you really need it.
Right. It's like
there's no shame in taking a good hit during the scrap, but like it's that Gatorade when you're on your way walking in.
Yep.
But yeah, it's great.
And that is it. That is all of the I was gonna say it's all the enhancements. That's all the detachments. There's 7 of them. So I think this book had the most detachments so far, right?
I guess that was yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been at this for a while here. So next up, I guess, is our data sheets.
Yeah, what's the time? Yeah, 2 hours. Holy shit, 2 hours 23 minutes.
Thanks for making it this far, everybody. Be sure to crump that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, check out our other videos, and smash Nurgle's bell icon. That way you don't miss part 2.